At his introductory news conference, January 24th, Scott Wooster wasn't shy about telling people who he is and what he plans to do as Grand Valley's 8th football coach. 3 years after being hired away from Wayne State, Wooster has already won over his roster and gave a special nod to next year's class of seniors, who he says will be the primary building blocks of his first Laker team.
The coolest part about it, the best part about it, Tom, is like those relationships as sophomores, going through COVID together, going through some of those hard times together. I think that's really strengthened our relationship one-on-one and with the class too. Me to them to me.
Coach Wooster is an unbelievable man, unbelievable coach, and a great friend, and everybody has that respect for him. So when we heard about Coach Mitchell leaving and Coach Wooster with the hire, that fear never really entered our minds, especially the older guys. So it's a real comforting feeling because a lot of us have confidence in his ability to coach. We know there's going to be some things different, just like it is with every other coach, but we know it's going to be a smooth transition.
In addition to having the ultimate responsibility for Grand Valley's storied program, Scott Wooster will now have to concern himself with the matters of the entire football family. And while the former offensive line and tight ends coach has often had to think about blocking and protection, he's let everyone know his plan for the future includes a continuation of the attacking defensive philosophies the Lakers have patented over the last few years.
I'm 1,000% behind Coach Wooster and what he brings to the table. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of uncertainty in that week. You kind of get tossed up. You get put in a blender a little bit, you start thinking about all the possibilities. Obviously, I've only lost about 5 games here at my Grand Valley career, and you know what I think Coach Wooster can bring, and I think it stays at that number. I think I'm only ending my career with 5 losses here at Grand Valley.
Yeah, we're going to be extremely aggressive, but it's going to be calculated. But we're going to be in attack mode, and we're going to be the apex predators. Our eyes are in front, and we're looking that way.
When Matt Mitchell hired Wooster away from GLIAC rival Wayne State a few years ago, he said he did so, in part, based on the way the Warriors' offensive line play had been giving Grand Valley fits for years. Wooster has helped shape the career of tackle Quentin Barrow, now auditioning for a spot in the NFL, as well as Jordan Davis, a guy who moved up the ladder to become a valued starter himself after enlisting in Scott Wooster's Army.
I realized that he had like a little tolerance for BS, so like he really was big on discipline, so like no excuses. Like if you handle your 2 square yards, then everything will fall in place. And like he really got us to believe that in the O-line room, and it kind of became contagious, our culture, our identity as a team.
We're going to emphasize, we're going to encourage, and I'm going to hold you accountable that you go achieve this world-class Grand Valley State education.
And for all the fire and brimstone at the Fieldhouse Arena during his introduction, the duality of Grand Valley's new coach was also evident, as Wooster talked about those for whom he's toiled, his wife and daughter, his old boss, Matt Mitchell, and the man who gave him a shot in college coaching, Wayne State's Paul Winters, who recently concluded his tenure in Detroit after 2 decades on the job.
He did so much for me professionally. He did so much for me personally. I mean, he's such a man of character, a man of grace, and such a great man. I wanted so badly for it to happen on his terms. I appreciate you asking that question because I would love that to, get out there.
In the coming days, Scott Wooster will hire a replacement for himself, a new offensive line coach, while diving into the job that led his 5 predecessors into Division I coaching positions after they left Grand Valley. And he reminded his campus audience to circle the date of October 14th on their yearly calendar. That's the day Grand Valley's newest football coach gets his first crack at 2-time national champion Ferris State.